remember when Cheryl Reeve, the general manager and head coach of the Minnesota Lynx, claimed she didn't give a damn about Caitlin Clark? Well, guess what? Well, those two are worth a lot of money. The Minnesota Lynx just pulled the most shameless cash grab we've seen in the WNBA, and it's all because Clark is the home team's coach. I mean, there will be a lot of people cheering for that other team. But how about one? You won't believe how quickly Reeve changed her mind when she realized Clark could fill her coffers. We're talking about a complete 180-degree turnaround, folks, from Olympic snub to suddenly superfan. Reeve's journey is a masterclass in hypocrisy, but wait until you hear about the ticket scheme that has fans furious. Are you ready to go so we know the cat's in the basement? Furious. Are you ready to go so we know the cat's in the basement? Are you ready? Are you ready to go so we know the cat's in the basement? The Clark effect is real, plain and simple, and this may be the best way to sum it up, but the truth is that Caitlin Clark is a bigger draw in the WNBA Finals, as evidenced by the fact that when it came time to choose the Team USA Olympic roster, Clark's name was nowhere to be found, and Reeve was as silent as a church mouse when asked about how it affected fan attendance. Reeve shrugged and said, "It's the first time in basketball history that you have arguably the most popular player in the world, but you could argue right now Caitlin Clark is the most talked about, most popular, most puts asses. You could argue that she's the only basketball player in the world in the seats, and that maybe LeBron, Luka or something, but you're leaving her off the Olympic team. This isn't just a showcase for her, it's also for the sport and the other WNBA players on this team. However, this is where things get interesting. It's like someone flipping a switch, and suddenly the Target Center is packed, and everyone wants to see a Lynx game, and the star of the show is Caitlin Clark. You'd think that Reeve would double down on her ska, but this is where Reeve's tune starts to change. It's like watching a stubborn old dog learn a new trick slowly at first and then all at once. I'd rather watch paint dry, because Caitlin Clark's not on the team if she's there. It's appointment TV, you people. Whoever did this, honestly, take your brain, put it in a museum and study it for how dumb you are. Before you know it, Reeve's singing Clark's praises. What gives? Could it be the sold-out arenas, the sky-high TV ratings, the jersey sales through the roof? You bet it is. Reeves realized what we've known all along. Caitlin Clark is money in the bank. And the numbers don't lie. We're talking record-breaking attendance, the most watched WNBA draft ever with 4 million viewers, and the Indiana Fever fan base soaring from 4,000 in 2023 to 177,000 in 2024. It's not just a rise, it's a revolution. Caitlin Clark is the public face of the show, so how can they abandon her again? Everyone is out to get her. Don't expand the game, but Clark isn't just living up to the hype. She's breaking all the records for assists and three-pointers in her rookie season. If you're Cheryl Reeve, you swallow your pride and join the Caitlin Clark bandwagon. All of a sudden, Clark isn't just a good player. She's a transcendent road show and the star that women's basketball needed. But hold on to your seats, people. This love fest isn't all sunshine and rainbows, though. There's a ticket controversy brewing that is going to throw a wrench in the works, and you won't believe what happens next if you don't know that teams have season tickets in general. While some teams offer season tickets, others offer half-season tickets, and occasionally there are other packages. One team, the Minnesota Lynx, has decided that while they are okay with charging you guys about $30 per game for all of these, when Caitlin Clark visits, we will be adding 10 times the price, so you're probably looking at $300 tickets. Now, Reeves is singing Clark's praises, but here's the big question. How much is a Caitlin Clark game worth? According to the Lynx, their new ticket package is raising eyebrows and draining wallets more quickly than you can say cash grab. If you guys didn't notice, there is a package for away games I apologize for the Minnesota Lynx home games, but as you can see, these are half-season packages that allow you to purchase packages to see every other game. You can also purchase half-season packages for all of these games here. Now let's break this down. Lynx has created a half-season ticket package that costs an incredible $850. But the catch is that it conveniently excludes the games against the Indiana Fever. That's right, it's a ticket package that allows you to watch Lynx games against all other teams except one, and you can't even purchase single game tickets to see Clark and the Fever. Fans are furious and angry on social media, and one fan said, "I was saddened I did the half season last year for the Lynx, not doing it this time, though they lost me on this decision." Another fan added, "This is the most shameless money grab in any league history. We can't deny who the face is anymore, and we know the Caitlin Clark effect is real, but it seems like some people are still unaware of it." People are still completely unaware of it, but you can now purchase a half-season ticket to gain access to Fever games. The Go has her own package. In fact, she has her own package. They could sell out Gamebridge for the first day of Fever camp. I apologize, but there is no chance that they couldn't. While the Lynx are playing hardball, other WNBA teams are showing off their support for Clark fans. The Seattle Storm and New York Liberty are including Fever games in their packages. It's like the Lynx are running a basketball speakeasy where the password is "show me the money." This reminds me of the moment a fancy restaurant abruptly raises the prices because they received a positive review, so they might make a quick profit in the short term, but how long before the regulars start looking for a new location if Unrivaled just happened? They said, "We have Caitlin Clark for one day and one day only, but we're going to move it into wherever is it, in Orlando, or it's in Miami, where the Miami Heat play in the American Airlines Arena." Is Miami, or is it the American Airlines Center? Is that the Mavs American Airlines Arena? I think is Miami, or whatever it's called now. So you could move it there, Unrivaled, and it would sell out in 10 minutes if she was there for one night and one night only. I've never seen a team do something like this before. Perhaps there have been, but I've never heard of season tickets that discount certain games simply because they're the bigger ones. And the fact that you have to pay, like, you have to buy a season ticket. So I've seen times where in order to get access to certain games, you basically have to first come, first serve. It's subtle as a brick through a window. And they're trying to ride the Caitlin Clark wave all the way to the bank. I remember when Reeve couldn't care less about Clark fans filling seats. It's funny how some sold-out arenas can change a tune, right? With season tickets and such, it was as if you had to have attended 10 games over the course of the year to get that much money. Heck, you could fly to Indiana to watch a game and still have money left over for a nice dinner. However, the Lynx are acting as though they have Clark locked in a vault, and $850 is the key. Imagine being a Lynx player right now, busting your ass on the court, and your own team is essentially saying, "Yeah, but you're not Caitlin Clark." Talk about a morale boost. My favorite thing about this is that it is the home of "I don't give a shit" about Caitlin Clark and Cheryl Reeve. When it comes to Clark's influence on the WNBA, let's start with a big one: TV ratings. The WNBA just recorded its highest ever ratings year, and some of her games are even outperforming NBA games on NBA TV. Yes, a rookie is bringing in more money than an NBA player. I apologize. But you don't need to buy a 10-game package to watch A.J. Wilson play basketball. You don't have to. And A.J. Wilson is in everyone packages to see every other team besides the Fig. More viewers than well-known NBA players. And when you consider that, aside from Kevin Durant's aging superstar LeBron James, 40, and Steph Curry, no NBA player is more popular today than Caitlin Clark. But wait, there are more. Last season, 20 of 23 games drew over 1 million viewers, featuring Clark and the Indiana Fever. That's not just star power. It's a full-blown phenomenon. Wherever she goes, teams are literally moving games to larger arenas to accommodate all the Clark fans. The league's 2024 season opener had the highest attendance in 26 years, and it's like they're getting ready for a rock concert rather than a basketball game. Coming from Caitlin Clark's games, more than 31% of the entire Mystics attendance was in 2 games that Caitlin's team played against the Sparks. The Aces, the Mystics, and the Dream all moved when Fever arrived in town. This was due to the attention that Caitlin and her teammates received last season, which resulted in a 1,000% increase in jersey sales and a a 250% increase in attendance. Their average annual attendance was the highest at just over 177,000 per game. And let's not forget about the WNBA Finals, which saw record sales of merchandise as if Clark had a magical touch on every piece of WNBA gear. 3 p.m. 3 million people watched the most finals game in 25 years, and even though Clark wasn't even playing in the finals, her influence on the league's popularity surely contributed to those numbers. Similarly, when we travel, teams from all over our league are impacted by the large number of people wearing Fever gear, which is a really great thing. I think we're only scratching the surface, though, as even the queen of understatement, Cheryl Reeve, had to acknowledge it and called it the Caitlin Clark effect, stating that Clark's entry into the draft created a wave of enthusiasm that's making big business for the NBA. Here's the big question. Is this just a passing fad, or is Caitlin Clark ushering in a new era for women's basketball? She has already had a significant impact on the game. What are some of the things you're seeing from Caitlin Clark that stand out to you? I know what you're thinking, big deal, Clark's selling tickets, but let's take a moment to think about it. She's changing the WNBA landscape, and she's doing it faster than you can say three-pointer. Other teams, like the Hawks, are watching this ticket fiasco, and I'm sure they're taking notes and devising their own Clark-centric strategies. And we might be looking at a future where every team raises prices when Clark visits town. Slope. And fans may wind up paying the price. I know that everyone will talk about the logo threes, and you know that Steph Curry did that for the NBA because of his popularity. It's exciting, but here's the thing. Clark is changing how teams market and build their rosters. It's like the three-point revolution, but for an entire player. And guess what the players are watching, too? They're probably in the gym right now honing their long-range shots and flashy passes. We might be on the verge of a new era in women's basketball with more offense, long-range shooting, and star power, but just sort of the pro game, and probably the FEA game. When she enters that space, she will be very focused on, I think, developing her physical strength and her ability to exist in spaces against bigger, stronger athletes than what she faced in college. So, obviously, the future star has had a huge impact on the game already, but here's the big question. Is this good for the WNBA in the long run, or is this a bubble that will eventually burst? Some experts are comparing Clark's influence to that of Steph Curry in the NBA, discussing how her style could affect how teams scout and build their rosters in the future. And we might be looking at a whole new style of play, folks, and it's not just about the on-court action.